What do you say to people though when they say red meat causes cancer, heart attack, and stroke, and saturated fat clogs your arteries? Like, there's still so many people who do believe that. So, like, what do you say to that?
There is no real high quality randomized controlled trials that show that eating meat causes cancer. It just doesn't exist, right? What we do have are lower quality observational epidemiological studies that use a very flawed tool, the food frequency questionnaire, to ask you about your overall meat consumption over the past 12 months. So I've used that when I did my master's study. It's an hour-long questionnaire. By the end of it, your participant is like, kill me now, you know, because you're asking them about every single thing they ate. And the way that it asks the question is like, over the past 12 months, how often have you eaten a pepperoni pizza? And they have to remember over the past year in general, how many times did they have that pepperoni pizza? Once a week, twice a week, blah, blah, blah. So can you just pause for a second and see just how subjective and prone to memory flaws that tool is? If you say you've had pepperoni pizza for, let's say, you know, I don't know how often, we have to look at that as a form of red meat intake. Mm-hmm. So then they take that red meat intake and they use that to correlate it with risks of disease. So of course, if you're having pepperoni pizza or a burger, of course, you're probably going to have an elevated risk of all kinds of diseases, not just cancers, right? But is it the pepperoni, or is it the crust and the fries and the sodas you're drinking with it, and the fact that you're eating those foods, which probably also means you don't care maybe to exercise, or you don't care to take your vitamins as well, you know? It's called the healthy user effect. And I get it, I understand why that happens. It's very difficult to conduct well-controlled trials where you bring in people and have them follow a diet and make sure they eat that diet for an extended period of time, right? I mean, we live in a very addictive environment where every major food company is trying to addict you to their food, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very difficult. Compliance is low generally in diet studies. The way that I interpret the science, I put it within the perspective of evolution, and within the perspective of what our genetics and DNA has been exposed to for 99% of our existence, right? Mm-hmm. Because that gives you kind of like the best quality long-term study, because if we ate those for 2 million years, it probably is good for us. I mean, we've survived famines, we've survived, you know, like the people who eat those foods seem to be stronger.
Yes, and you even posted a study though recently on your YouTube channel, a study done with Harvard and David Ludwig, and how they did a carnivore diet study in the short term. And could you just give the results, like share a little bit of the results on that?
Yeah, that's the first like official carnivore diet study that Harvard put out, which was like over 2,000 participants. That's a large sample size. As a prerequisite to be included in the study, you needed to be at least a carnivore for 6 month minimum or more. And the results were just amazing. I mean, almost, I think it was like 84 to 100% of people who had diabetes literally didn't need their medication anymore. They reversed their diabetes just with diet alone, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not how over 95% of dietitians work or how they were taught. It's mainly, let's give them the carbs and then let's give them the insulin to handle the fact that they cannot handle the carbs we gave them in the beginning. Right? It makes no sense.
And like you said too, if we just look back in history, in evolution, like when people say, well, red meat causes cancer, or how do you know that you should eat red meat? Because obviously there's the vegan movement as well, but just like I look at evolution.
Yeah, evolution is the ultimate carnivore versus vegan study, right? The Australopithecus was the common ancestor. The Homo lineage, us, survived because we started eating meat. And the other one, which decided to go vegan, got extinct. It only, I think, survived. It was only around for 1 million years and then it went extinct. And that's because they went in a vegan direction, we went in an animal-based direction. And so I think that is a really powerful idea for people to realize. That is the ultimate kind of carnivore versus vegan study, right? It's called History and Evolution. So